of law, okay?
All right, never mind then.
And so, and then we'll wait for him when he gets on, because we are a little bit late. We are 6 minutes late,
Yeah,
and people depend on wait, and all of them. We can't just
well,
make them a wait, like that, you know.
that I agree 100%, man.
Hey, let me ask you: are you having rain in Jamaica?
Am I in Jamaica?
Right
what?
now?
Yeah.
Are you have? You understand, part of it? Say, are you having rain in Jamaica right now?
Oh, no. Sorry, no. I Patois is not my first language. I'm only Jamaican.
All right.
Remember, so you tell me, say we live, you know.
We can't manage you. Oh, this is Leo Killing, and I have my really great friend Charles Hyatt on with us with me tonight. And then there's another gentleman. He's kind of uglier, so you won't miss him. His name is Noel Gordon, coming on in a few minutes. I think his computer says I am too old, so I have to take my own little time to come on. Wonderful evening to you, everybody. How are you doing? It's good to be here again on a Wednesday night. Charles caused me not to be on last week. But anything will happen bad, it's Charles. If it happened good, it's me.
Right. As long as we have that understood, then we are on the right track. Definitely.
Charles!
Yes, sir.
What's on top tonight?
Well, I mean, honestly, life is on top, but we want to get to talk about some current events, and we want to dig into how we feel about these current events. And one of the things that I really want to talk about is the statement that MP Warmington made about Mark Golding and his lineage.
Do you have the actual statement?
Let's see here if I can find it for you. So
because we don't want to misquote him, because we have a tendency to misquote people. Right. So we want to make sure that we can take the statement and then break it up into different pieces, whatever it is, and then come up with the proper response. Right.
So
there's 5 words there.
Based on the Gleaner, right? Warmington is quoted by saying, them used to say my leader Barnia, Siaga Barna Boston because of accident. Why Mark Golding mother and father? Where Mark Golding mother and father come from? Right? And then Warmington questions the loud shouts of shower labor rights from the large crowd. Shower labor rights from the large crowd. It's just that's a way of shower is actually a gang. Identify.
Yes, because I know shower is a gang. I remember.
Yeah, okay. Anyway.
Right. Okay.
So Warmington continued. So don't talk, say my leader Barnia, and you attack Edward Siaga, and you don't attack this leader. If he wants to be a prime minister, go back to England, Ireland, Wales, or Scotland. But him not meet Michael Andrew Holness. Him not beat Michael Andrew Holness. I don't talk about color or race, but they started it, so let me finish it. Right? So, then he goes on to say, hold on. Them say Siaga born up there, so. But where for them leader come from? Bakra Master?
Whoa.
No.
Hold on. Somebody in Jamaica said
that. He's
all right, so what party? I'm assuming that
you've never heard of Everald Warmington?
No.
He's he's the Jamaica Labour Party's area council council 2 chairman.
Okay, and he's an MP then.
He's an MP, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Boy, I tell you.
I can't believe. Hold on there. We are at he's at the helm of the leadership in our country and calling somebody Bakra Master.
This is what I'm saying. I'm not understanding we've heard many outbursts from Warmington over the days, and I want to let it know. I am not a political person at all. Me not in a PNP, me not in a JLP, right? I am into any MP who is doing work, right? And if I see work being done where I live, I will vote for that person. So here's the thing. Warmington over the years has made some really horrible, disgusting comments, both in Parliament and in public, right? And is Parliament public? That might be public too, right? But both in Parliament and out of Parliament. And for some reason, I don't know what the reason is, but for some reason, he has not been reined in by his political party. They've allowed him to make some horrible statements over the years. And
Well,
and they just stand by him and they don't say anything, and he doesn't get a slap on the wrist even. But this has gone too far now, right? We don't say to the world out of many one people for no reason, right? Now, I am not of an illusion that Jamaica doesn't have a race problem and Jamaica doesn't have a class problem. We do. No matter what anybody wants to say, racism is real in Jamaica, right? Ask anybody who deals with Chinese or Indian or white people who come here and do business. Racism is real in Jamaica. But when we're talking about political parties and the legislators that are there who are to represent our constitution, and they are spitting this type of divisive comments out there, and then I'm going to say, them started, so let me finish it. Come on, man.
That's irresponsible, but let me not take him on, all right? I want people to get a sense of where this discussion has taken the rest of the country. It's taken us into a place called slavery. And slavery is a bad word, so people like to say enslaved era, all right? But I want to use the word slavery because I want to bring out the depth of the problem. What he's saying is that a Bakra master is a person who buys slave from Africa and put them through the Middle Passage, where if they started with 4,000 slaves on that ship packed like sardine, they will end up with only 2,000 when they land in the New World, right? And what that means is that so many of our brothers and sisters, our fathers, forefathers, would have perished with the stench of being below deck, chained with each other, dying next to each other, and stinking up each other on the ship. I want them to know what a Bakra master is, right? A Bakra master is someone who, when the slaves come to the land, to the new land, to let's say Jamaica, he picks out the strongest person to work on a farm. And if that man has a wife and children with him, he does not care. I don't want them. I just want this one. Send them to go somewhere else and go kill them or something like that because they're weak. All right. This is what Bakra master do. They don't care about women because women were pieces of property just like every other black person. He's calling him Bakra master because he's the same guy that if a slave does wrong on his plantation, he's going to hang him off of a tree on a piece of rope and let him swing there for every other slave to see. Okay, you want to continue? You want to continue
No,
because
listen,
what this is about.
This
All
is
right.
what this is about. So he's saying that Mark Golding's parents are Bakra masters. And what I find so interesting, I am a proud alumni of a school called Hope Valley Experimental School, right? It's in Augustown. It's a school for disabled people. I went there because my parents wanted to make sure that I saw disabled people as regular people and not that they were crippled and not that they were anything less than I was. So they put me in Hope Valley Elementary School to open my mind to the reality that people are people, right? That school was started by Mark Golding's father. The hospice that is down the street from Huey is started by Mark Golding's father. When I read a response to this idiotic, I can't cuss bad word for your thing, so I'm not going to do it. But Noel, stop smiling.
Hey, no, we'll take you on. I don't have to say anything about Badwood. No, we'll just take you on. So we don't have no problem with that. You can do whatever you want. You can just take him on to me, right?
No, I'm not going to do it. So Michael Abrams, Dr. Michael Abrams, he's an obstetric
yes,
and
the writer.
gynecologist. Yes, the comedian, the writer, the gynecologist.
Yes, everything.
Everything.
Jack of all trades.
Right. And a master of a whole heap of them too. But he wrote a response to Warmington's foolishness. And it is amazing the amount of things that Mark Golding's father did for Jamaica, in Jamaica. So I don't know what it is, and it's for Jamaicans in Jamaica. So I don't know why Warmington.
He needs. Well, let's bring him up to speed. Let's bring Noel up to speed. Bring up Noel to speed for me, please.
Noel, so we were talking about, we are talking about the two articles that highlighted Warmington's statements about Mark Golding's lineage, right? Basically saying no white man can rule him, which I don't understand why he would say that when Egbert Siaga is the person that basically is the face person for the JLP.
That's his premise. If you read the article, he's trying to say we have to be equitable in our critique, because just as though we're pressuring the JLP that Eddie Siaga is white man, we have to do the same thing to Golding. That's a weak rationale, but that's I saw that.
I want to take it a little bit further too, right? Because we need not to depend on the Bakra masters of the world, because our biggest industry that brings foreign exchange to this country are the same Bakra master them where I call Bakra master coming into this country, into our country. So we have to be careful about, what I'm more concerned about. I'm going to show you something. I'm most concerned that the leaders of our country are irresponsible for the things that they say. And I'll give you an example. A couple of days ago, I was watching a debate between opponents in the Senate, JLP and PNP. One saying, so Jamaica is number 44 out of 100 of countries that are corrupt. The number one being the most corrupt, 100 being not corrupt at all. And I saw two ministers going at it. One saying, no, you are more corrupt, your party is more corrupt than my party, right? And I'm saying to myself, if you are actually saying your party is more correct than my party, what you're actually admitting is that my party is corrupt.
Exactly.
Okay, so therefore, if my party is corrupt, what am I doing? There you go. And then the next one is your party. It was under your party's watch that 18 babies died, right? And no more. It's under your party that 14 babies died at Bustamante Hospital. What about, ladies and gentlemen, what about the issues that caused the babies to die? I keep asking that question. What was it that caused the baby to die? Did you do anything about it happened 70 years ago? And what's going on? Did you do any kind of research to find out if that bacteria has left Jamaica? Is it in other hospitals? Why is it centered in Bustamante Hospital? Those are the questions. Why do we deal with the issues?
The only question you need to ask with that has been asked already. Mark Golding asked Minister Tufton, when did you know that there was a viral infection that was deadly in these hospitals? And the man swim round and swim round and swim round, and Mark Golding waited till he was finished and said, you didn't answer my question, so let me ask it again. Are you saying that you did not know in July that there were infections and whatever in these hospitals? And Tufton would not answer the question, right? Fine. But
okay,
what is
here's something that I want you to start. You say Mark Golding, and then you use Tufton, and you say Mark Golding, and you use Warmington. So I wanted to use
no. I'm talking a different thing now. I'm talking about the babies. You brought up the babies. You brought up the babies.
Yeah.
So the conversation was about the babies was between Mark Golding and Minister Tufton, right? In Parliament. And right. Minister Tufton was dancing around the question, right?
Right.
But the thing that I find unfortunate is that however you put it, 14 babies are dead.
Right.
Because the parents weren't warned that there was this thing in this hospital that could cause you problems. So you should make a choice as to whether or not you want to go there or not. They weren't informed. And so what Mark Golding is saying is, do you think if you would have given them a choice, they would have gone to the hospital and had their babies knowing that there's a chance that their baby's going dead? But nobody is taking responsibility. Nobody is taking ressibility.
Are you gonna comment here, Noel? Because you've been very quiet.
Waiting for a chance.
Take it, man.
Hold on, Noel. Before you start, Noel, hold on, Noel. Before you start. All right, start now.
Okay, you know when you used to hot bus in the country, well, you would know that. You maybe the older guy would know a little bit. You can't just jump on the bus, you have to run beside the bus, and then when you give it a chance to jump on, so me just waiting to jump on. And I think that what I wanted to say to jump on, it is applicable here also. The why. Okay. The why, and we can take it back to Warmington, or we can take it to Tufton. Why did we get a non-response from Mr. Tufton? What was going through his mind and what was his motive? And let's go back also to Warmington. Why would Warmington say something like that? What is it coming from? Because sometimes we have to get back to the root of the situation, whichever one you want to deal with. I would prefer to maybe just go back a little bit and then we pick it back to the Tufton thing, go back to one.
Okay, that's good.
What would inspire a person to make
inspire?
I was very calculated in saying that, because what would precipitate such a thought? Why?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, let's go back. You don't want to give any credit. Let's go back. What would precipitate such a thought? Let's say we can get into the mind of a person. Why would they say something like that? Where is it stemming from? Can we try
So here's a comment from Anne-Marie. She says, it was distasteful and disrespectful. As a Labourite myself, it doesn't sit well with me. But then, if we don't hold our political officials accountable, they will not stop. I totally agree with you. Let me go to Facebook. If you're on Facebook, just bear with me and go ahead. Noel, let me get on the Facebook.
Okay, while it's getting on Facebook, I realized that, okay, I'm going to use my example, and I'm not saying it, I'm not defending Warmington in the least, but I'm just going to use this example to sort of add a little fuel to the conversation. When I came to the United States, I didn't know I was black, quote unquote. When I said I didn't know I was black, coming from Jamaica, you know, generally where I come from and the experience that I had, you didn't think in terms of color. You didn't think in terms of, if you understand what I'm trying to say, you know, I'm as black as whatever. But the first time I was exposed to racism, I didn't know it didn't occur to me it was racism, because I was on this job and some black kids visited and this Jewish kid said, "Oh, did you lock your cars? You don't want them to break into the car." And then everybody laughed and I laughed. And then he said something else and it hit me. And then I started paying attention. And from that time, I started erring on the side of caution. And there were times when I was irrational in my responses because I want to be overprotective and because I was hurting from this new situation. I sometimes became irrational. So I'm justifying my behavior, my erring on the side of caution because of the experiences that I've had. Now, what would have caused that gentleman to say something so?
We're going to get into that. Let's get into it. Let me just take some comments here on Facebook. Carlene said, "Good night, Leo." The other two gentlemen here, Carlene, is Noel Gordon and Charles Hyatt.
Yeah, tell her so she can call her names later.
Not the original Charles Hyatt. The original Charles Hyatt look better looking than that one. Yeah, better looking than that one.
But your original.
All right. Shireen Sutton says, "Blessings, Leo." Paula Chang says, "Hi, everyone." Hubert Fowling says, "Siaga was born in Massachusetts." Paula says, "Is Mark Golden even pure white? We have started to go down a path that I don't like." Agree. Carlene Madden is watching. I know exactly what you're talking about. And Carlene says, "Good night, Noel and Charles."
Hey.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody. And no, he's not fully white. His father married a black Jamaican woman. So really, what is? I mean, no, seriously, honestly. And when I first went to the States, I knew right away I was black. I went to Maryland right away. No, let me tell you why.
Stop hanging on Noel.
I'm not talking about Noel. Let me tell you why I knew. I knew because of Big Youth. Because Big Youth had a song that said every nigga is a star. And I asked, what is a nigga? Right? And it was explained to me about the racism that they went through in England and so on and so forth. So I knew about that even when I was 8 years old going to the States. But as soon as I got to the States, it was immediate that I was black and everybody else was not. Right? Some trouble keep up, and then I'm telling you, within a week.
I think what he meant
directly to me.
Yeah, I think what he meant though is that he was never exposed to racism. Coming from the country. I hope I'm right. And then when he came here, when he's in Jamaica, he didn't see himself different from anybody else, right? But then when he came, it was a rude awakening after a while, right? That's what you mean, right?
You're perfectly correct, sir. You're perfectly correct. Can we go down this lane a little bit in terms of because we have to get to the root of the matter,
Let me open up some little bit more doors, all right? So the JLP party has, I think, more people of high complexion than the PNP party.
Hold on. High complexion?
I don't know what you call it. Charles can get me the right term. Come and give me the right term, Charles.
Light, bright, almost white.
Light bright, almost white. Yes. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Listen, don't listen to my
I think the
as
JLP party
African
has a
Americans
lot
would
more.
say, as African Americans would say, high yellow.
Ayala, yes. But it's still black. It's still black. Just high yellow.
Yeah, that is
Right. Okay,
high
so-
yellow. That's all.
So, if you know the premise of the PNP party, it's about the premise that Michael Manley set was about the poor people of the country, the working class of the country, and most of those people that he used to walk with were. I mean, when I grew up and saw Michael Manley, the first time I saw him, I could actually see through him. I was walking down Rockabessa. I could see through him. But it's the same thing when I saw Bustamante.
Michael Manley is a dopey.
I saw when I saw Bustamante, it was the same thing. I was looking at
Listen to me now, man. Stop it. Stop it.
Our motto says, out of many, we are. No. Scratch. Let me do the right thing. Out of many, one people. It
Right.
actually means
You know,
out
say,
of many colors, we are one.
but you know, say, from I was a child, I always questioned that motto, right? Because
Questioning.
is it saying out of many one people? Is it saying out of many one people? You know what I mean? What you understand?
It is actually saying.
I know what it is explained
with many
to say.
parts.
I know
Yes,
what it
sir.
is explained to say. But it is interesting because just like how when the TV used to sign off and you used to see the man them pants do so, and you wonder why them shaking so much. Anyway, maybe it was only me. But what I'm saying is,
Break it down.
no, it is just interesting that the motto. I understand the premise of the motto, right? But I thought,
you understand the words also, because the actual word you cannot have the proof.
remember,
Can say,
there's no comma,
and it says one people,
but there's no
meaning
comma.
that it doesn't matter because you can't have a comma in a motto. You can have a comma in a
Can't
slogan.
have a cup. Okay, I'm not an English person. I'm not an English. English is
He's
not
a
my
Sam
first
Sharp,
language.
Sam Sharp Teachers College graduate. Don't mess with him.
Listen, man.
Right.
We walk down that plank and we die for the people that we love and care for. Okay? Yes. Marcus
Well,
Garvey.
Right, but
Sam.
I understand that. I understand
All
that.
right.
What I'm saying is, I never knew that as a motto, you can't have a comma, right? I never know that. You teach me something there, and thank you very much for that lesson. But that's why I was saying, if it says out of many, one people, then shouldn't there be a comma there somewhere?
It says out of many one people. So the one people, it doesn't say out of many, comma, one people. It says
What
out
do
of
they
many.
mean by one people? What's one people? What's
That's
one?
what I'm saying.
That's
Is it
one
out of many
people.
one people? Is
Yes,
it out of
because
many one people? Is it out of
It's
many,
actually,
many
is actually saying-
societies?
it is actually, you have to go to the one people first.
Yes,
one
that's what I
people
want to find
has
out.
many different colors. One people is one set of people. One people. You can say it is proper to say one people.
Let
And
me
you can
interject. Can I
I
interject?
understand that.
Can I interject?
All right.
Let me interject.
Yes, sir.
So here's the problem, because me trying to take it back. You say that, we say that in words, but the way I grew up as a kid in Jamaica, even though I said I didn't know I was black in Jamaica, but it was still obvious where I come from that you see when you talk about the high color and the high whatever, this is how people in Jamaica were labeled at that point in time. And if you're brown, then the one people thing, I know one people again, because
I know one people again.
right.
Let's what I want to
I'm not
point
getting
to-
I'm not getting what you guys are saying.
No, what I want to,
I'm
what
sorry.
Noel and I are pointing to, right, is the hypocrisy of the motto. Because the motto is there, but the reality is not on the ground.
Exactly.
That is whether it is that we're out of many and whatever, we are not one people in Jamaica, on the rock, even in the diaspora. We are not. right? Because
Okay,
you have the haves, you have the have-nots, you have the lives, you have the live-nots. You know, you understand? Who live there? Who have this? Who go to which school? Who go to this? You understand? And it is this country that we have, this wonderful nation family that we have, is as dysfunctional as anywhere else.
And
So
I don't think
to add to what you said a while ago. Let me just add before you come in, Nick. To add to what you said a while ago, the division is not just along color lines; it's along class line.
it's along country
Okay,
lines,
so
it's along
I
county lines, it's along
I don't
parish
think that the
lines.
motto,
Remember,
the
you know.
motto is
Remember,
to
you know.
be a realistic tool. It's not meant for us to match the motto with what's going on. The motto is meant to be
Representative
goal.
of what's going on.
a goal. It's a goal, but we
It can't be a goal. It can't be a goal, brother. If it's a matter of a country, it can't be a goal.
It's
No, man,
a
it's-
reflection
It
of
is a
what's
rule.
going on.
It should be the rule.
Yes.
it can't be a reflection, then we have nothing to live forward to. The motto is like a plan, a broad plan.
No,
We
no,
never-
brother.
we
No,
never
brother.
make-
A motto represents
What you are.
represents the image of what you are.
Essence of what you are. That's what
That is a motto.
represents.
Look at any
So
company.
then we are
Any
then.
company that has a motto.
So let's look at it. It is referring to the fact that we have Chinese, Indian, black, yellow, and yellow.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question then.
and it's saying-
Hold on, Leo. Let me ask you a question.
Let me talk. I'm responding to it,
All
okay?
right, go ahead.
So it's also saying that it have poor people, it have rich people, it have not so rich people, it have all of these people who have many colors, many hue, many
We are no one.
money,
We are no
or no money. That's what the motto is
We're
saying.
the one. As the one they have the issue with.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's one people. One of us is
no,
one.
if them say
people,
one
Jamaica is one
nation,
people.
then I would
Same
say
thing.
which country in the world is not that?
Japan.
Not true. There are black people in Japan.
Yeah, but they're not.
Their fastest sprinter is black people.
They give them. Japan yearns to be Japanese only, almost 100%.
Listen, I know for a fact many Jamaicans that go to Japan and them get all kinds of love.
Yeah.
Whether they
And when I
move
went to
there,
China,
whether they move there or they just go there for a little while, whether to perform or to work for a little while or whatever.
let's get back to Warmington, because Warmington is at issue this evening. Minister or MP Warmington, I'm not so sure what he is. But let's talk about him and why he said what he said.
Let's go back. I still think we need to go back to what do you think would possess a man, a person is supposed to be a unifier, a person is supposed to be a representation of the people. What would possess him to say something so toxic?
Probably because he doesn't have the ability to think like
let
you're
me tell you why he would have made such a statement. Because he has gotten away with making statements like this before, with horrible statements before. He has never been reined in. Never. He has said some really nasty statements to the media, to other politicians, while in parliament, not in parliament. You understand? He has said some horrible statements, and
Let's continue, Dig. Toxic personalities. Toxic personalities. What causes toxic personality?
I think we have leaders in positions that probably do not have the qualification to lead in the way that we are expecting them to. Let me tell you something.
That's government in every country.
Government
in
so,
every country.
And so, you know, to be an MP in Jamaica, I don't know what it is, but to me, it could be anybody in the community that's popular and can get votes. All right? It doesn't matter if you can lead people. It doesn't matter if you have conflict resolution skills. It doesn't matter if you have had a degree or two, or you have made it to the top of the class.
Hold on. I have to stop you there. I have to stop because I knew you were going to go to the degree part of the things, but you have to understand that politicians should be leaders, and leadership does not mean educated. And
that's what I'm saying.
Hold on. Leadership doesn't mean that you have some official blah blah blah. It just means that people respect you and will follow you because they know that you are going in the right direction and you will help them grow. Right? So he's going in the wrong direction, and that's why we're having this discussion.
Let me add to that. I want to add something to what Charles just said. And dysfunctionality run the spectrum. Just as though this dysfunctionality, the fact that someone might be in a position, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that them not have some schizophrenic behavior or some personality disorder or some stuff going on. Because if you find it so easy, I'm just speaking generally. I don't know the man Warmington. I think I know his brother went to JC. But if you are so toxic in your expression and you have no feeling and you have no empathy,
there are other areas, right?
There are other issues.
It's not just. This is not just. So therefore, the people would have chosen him. I don't know if they know that he's like that.
But maybe, listen, Leo, sometimes it is our dysfunctionality. Leo, listen, sometimes our dysfunctionality puts us out there and people see us in just an amazing light. Look how many crazy people that we revere. It's the winning ways. I think that's called your winning way could be stemmed from anything. And when it put you in a position, it can't sustain you.
Yeah, preach, brother, preach.
You know, it is interesting to me. The point that I want to make is that there seems to be no accountability in Parliament, whether on each side of the aisle, right? Cronyism and brethrenism and this, that, and the other has ruined our politics, right? Go ahead, Leo.
I just have to make take some comments. I don't want to forget the people. I must say some important things here. Paula says motto is a vision statement. Okay, all right. So says gentleman next to Leo, let's differentiate racism from classism. Good point. And let me see if there's anyone on okay, there's no one on YouTube saying anything. So, but yeah.
All right. Let me talk. I want to talk about that last statement. Let's differentiate racism from classism. Racism is in Jamaica. Racism, right? Because you have to understand that in the 70s, you couldn't be a flight attendant, you couldn't be a teller, you couldn't be a receptionist, you couldn't be any front person of any organization if you were not either light skinned or white.
Oh yeah. Bank teller.
Bank teller. You couldn't do it. It could not happen. Yeah. Right?
I know.
No.
Okay. All right. So isn't that classism? Isn't that classism?
No, that is racism. Classism says that you couldn't be poor. You couldn't be from a poorer class. But you could have been as poor as you want to be. If you're light, bright, and almost white, and you have the long flowing hair, you could have been a teller.
Well, one of the factors in racism is that one of the races has to be poor, or
no, not true. It just has to have a system that supports you.
Maybe I'm not using, maybe poor is not the right word, but not have as much as the other race. One of the race has poor, and the other one does not.
Now you've said it. That's the word. One race has to have more power than the other, right?
So what race are you talking about?
Hold on. And there has to be a system that supports the notion of this race that has more power. I am saying that white people in Jamaica carried more clout than Black people in Jamaica during the 60s and 70s, maybe not the 60s, but the 70s and 80s in this country.
60s
And
too.
even today, you will see at the resorts that white people carry more importance than Black people. And that is speaking of a racism system.
Yes, but it's kind of different because when you say racism, right, it means that because I could be fair-skinned or yellow in my family, right? And I get a job in a bank in the 70s and the 60s, but my sister and brother them black like a tar, right? Because my father is white, you know, my mother have 3 different, 4 different, 5 different boyfriend, father. And because
listen, we don't know why you would take it there, so but
so I'm saying that's what I'm saying. It's hard to say. It's hard to say racism. It's hard to say racism.
Let me weigh in a little bit on that because some time ago I was on a program and I said that a part of our issue in Jamaica is classism, and someone took me on and say it's not classism, it's racism. They're not necessarily. They're not. We talk about mutually exclusive. I think that there is racism, and I also think that there's classism. If you just live in Jamaica for any time, if you're poor, where I come from, you have the people. There was some people from. Let me tell you how bad it was, and I'm going to say that community has been elevated so highly, and those kids are doing so well now. There was a place called Caledonia, and you know what they used to call the people them? Caledonia Hag.
Which part?
In Centon, where I'm from, that little community. That's what they used to call the people, just because of, they see them as poor and having no, you see how crude that thing is. So we, from our line, we thought, even though we were as poor as them, or maybe poorer than them, we thought we were a little better, And even though it's a simple example, but in our country, people have that mentality still.
I think, I understand, but I can't call it racism because there has to be.
No, I'm saying classism. I'm saying it's classism.
A distinct difference. If everybody in the PSOJ, for example, was white, yellow, right? And the whole of them live at Beverly Hills and Upper Jacks Hill, and the whole of them live on Montego Hills, and the whole of them live in a certain area. And on the woman all of this is in Jamaica, and then what I would resemble. I went to Pauline, Choco Cove, a couple of years ago, right? In 2019, the one in a Trelawney at Hope something. And I got really mad. And I don't think that people recognize that this was racism in a little shell, right? So I went on to the Street Estate. And the first thing they took us on a tour to the castle, the house that overlook 9 square miles of land. So I stood up there and I had to look and say, Jesus, please. And yes, this man that didn't live when that don't slave them, beat on the slave them. You could see 9 miles of coconut and banana and yam and coke and everything. What was like so? I said to myself, standing there, I'm looking at the slaves them down there on the bottom. And I said to myself, all them people them are moved. And it was in my imagination. I felt I saw them. I went down to the bottom now. In one place, my ticket, and when I went inside there,
breaking up, Leo. When you raise your voice, you break up.
Okay, no try to
when
calm
you
down.
get too emotional, we lose you.
Yeah. All right. So when I went down the hill now, and I went to the store, there were about 10 people, and you could see that they were absolute maroon of very dark complexion. And who was the boss inside there? One white man. everything that we employees need to do to ask a question, they had to go to him. So 4 of them did it one time, and him feel big and important that these employees coming to him. Of course. I say, why is it that you guys put yourself to this? One white man from England, him still talk England, and him own the property, and him other people them. And it made me feel like I walk on the property and I saw a piece of I'm still upset enough. One piece of rope hanging from one tree. And it looked like something that somebody was hanging. I said to her, why am I have to put myself through this? I didn't like it at all.
Why were you so upset?
I was upset because I love history, right? I love history because it tells me about my ancestors. It tells me about all of the issues, the problems, the challenges where them go through. And it was standing in front of me right there.
So you reacted like that because of your past and because of...
Thank you very much, sir.
Right. So could it be that not everybody is able to process the past and the way it manifests itself could be the way Warmington manifests himself? Because
the regal, that's a hard one.
I'm asking this because I don't know the gentleman. I'm just saying that sometimes we got to hit the thing at the symptom. The reason people behave a certain way is because of what's happening on the inside sometimes.
Yeah. Is he fair-skinned?
Who?
I'm asking Charles. I don't know what Mr. Warmington looks like.
You're not seeing me?
No, I'm asking what section is Mr. Warmington.
Oh, you're asking. Okay, sorry. He's dark-skinned man.
He's dark-skinned.
Yeah, man, he's extremely dark, man.
Okay, wow. So here's go ahead.
So all right. We also have to understand that racism is not just metered out from one race to another. It is metered out to a race, period. Right? So Black people experience racism all around the world, right? Because apparently to the rest of the world, Black people are at the bottom of the totem pole, right? So it doesn't have to just be white to Black people. It can also be, and it has also been, Black to Black people. Because
racism? You call that racism?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Let me tell you why. No, man. Hold on. If I am a person that is that sees white people as the best, right? The standard. Me black, you know. And me see a light-skinned youth and a dark-skinned youth come into a place. Because of my racist mentality, the light-skinned youth going to get my best and a dark-skinned youth going to get treated like crap. It happens all the time.
You see, you're changing the definition. Well, you're adding to the definition.
Because racism, remember,
let's go. Let's read the definition. Let's read the definition. One definition says the belief that different races possess distinct characteristics, abilities, and qualities, especially so as to distinguish them as inferior or superior to another. And that's what I think that's what I miss, because that inferior part and the superior part has to exist, right? It has to exist.
That is why I said, that Black people can be racist to Black people. Because as long as you believe that whites are better than you and better than your people or whatever the hell it is, and you perpetuate that truth that you call a truth, you are being racist against Black people.
I don't believe that. You have to be.
Remember, remember the phenomenon of a house nigger.
The house nigger, okay, so and that's why I'm thinking I would define it a little differently. I wouldn't define that person as a racist. I would define that person as an Uncle Tom. I mean, for better word. But to me, racism is about you feel it's a sickness, it's a psychological sickness. You really think you're better than, even though I may drive a Lamborghini and you drive a Porsche.
That is why I'm saying.
Racism,
that is why I'm
racism
saying.
is a political and economic advantage.
It is a power. It is a power dynamic that is supported by a system. It doesn't have to be a political system. It doesn't have to be it has to be a social system, a social issue that is supported by a systemic support system.
A political system.
It doesn't have to be political.
It has to be supported by the political system. You know why?
It has to be political.
It is supported.
The reason why we call racism in the 1800s and the 1700s is because it was a part of the Constitution.
Policies
so racism is higher level. I mean, like Jim Crow.
All right, hold on. All right. So what you're saying then, guys, you very intelligent, smart guys, especially the high yellow one in the bottom.
That's nowhere.
Especially what you're saying then is that, hold on, man. What you're saying is that racism is now finished in the United States because there is no political system that supports racism in the United States because
the opposite of that.
You just said there has to be a political system that supports it. Well, I'm not hearing you. First of all, your mic is smarter than all of us and has muted you when you're screaming.
Right. That's why I tell you, you have to bring down your voice. Every time you elevate your voice, Leo, we lose you.
I don't know how to turn this thing down. Hold on.
Don't turn it down. Just speak a little softer. You don't have to turn on mic.
Do this. Turn down your voice box.
Anyway, so listen. There are 2.3 million inmates in prisons in America. That's a slavery system. That's a system that the Constitution of the United States says you are a slave when you do it. I can't tell you that that's not true. Okay? There are still laws on the books in South Carolina that upholds racism. So I can't tell you that racism doesn't exist.
What I'm saying to you, is my mic open? What I'm saying to you is that the Constitution of the United States of America stipulates that all men are created equal, right? So
but when that was made,
wait.
Come on, from the time.
The political system that got rid of Jim Crow, and because of, what was it? Was it Roe versus Wade? No, Roe versus Wade was abortion, right? But what was the one that was the integration of schools?
Brown versus the
right. Yeah. Because of that wonderful case, segregation was taken out. System is not supported anymore. So what you are saying, from what you have pontificated, racism no longer exists in the States.
No. What I'm saying is that racism in the States is supported by the political system, whether you're a Democrat.
Wait. That's not true.
Let me keep them talking, boss.
You gotta let me talk. You gotta let me talk. Listen, why do you think we having the fights going on now in our midterm elections? Why do you think we have these fights going on in our midterm elections?
I can tell you exactly why.
Come on, you gotta let me finish, man. It is because they have laws and policies and procedures in place that keep. Look how we deal with education. Why do you think they support private schools, privatization and school choice? School choice is that the rich people want to keep their money and send their kids to special schools up in the hills, wherever the case might be, and just give a limited amount of to suburban schools. These are policies, political policies that are made in the system. So you can't separate it. You might not see it publicly, but trust me, the politics are on it.
Because, all right, so let's get back to Warmington again, because we're gone far off of Warmington, and Anne-Marie says both parties does it. Anne-Marie, what is it that you're saying that both parties do? I need to address that.
Ask Anne-Marie if she grew up with the statement that two wrongs don't make a right. Because if she's saying both parties do it, is that to excuse the behavior?
No, it's not. It does not. And a leader, a true leader, would not be playing tit for tat. No, it would not be.
But I want you to say. I want you to also say.
You can't tell me what we said. We have to tell me what we said.
Make him say it first, because maybe you want to say.
I'm going to tell you what we said. Watch this now.
Make him say it.
A true leader would also denounce such horrible statements. So we wait and we see.
The demise of his leadership. They're not looking at it that way. Them protect
There's no such thing as demise of leadership in our country, because if we are accepting of that we are corrupt, then we are corrupt.
And Marie said both sides do it. So then just call it a wash, because if both sides do it, then it is okay. Then let it happen.
What is she responding to?
I guess she's saying that based on what Charles is saying, that both parties commit the same thing. One say, hey, Seaga, a white man, and you're supposed to lead, but Seaga did lead. And the other one say, Mark cannot lead, Mark Golding cannot lead because I'm white. So they're saying
that's a quotation under the article that them say Warmington say. I don't know if him say it, but that's in quotation.
Well, based on what I read, whether I'm say it or not, that's what he alludes to.
What I would like to say, what I would like to say, in our constitution in Jamaica, I think it says that no citizen of another country can be in
that's a recent law.
I know. But I think Jamaica is, I cannot think of any other country. And I really have been trying to think of it. What other country do you know of that a foreigner?
None.
What's the question?
has led the country?
Yeah, none. Because as you must have must have been born on the soil to be a leader.
What you say about in the boat in born, in the ship?
No, man. Boston.
Oh,
I thought it was a ship in born in the
Boston,
ship.
Boston, Massachusetts, bro.
Born in Boston.
So how comes he was Prime Minister?
But let's do this. Let me say this.
Just move on from that. Because you're going to get a whole heap of stone and block.
Belize, because we have a Jamaican in Belize who's leader of the opposition.
I'm being sarcastic anyway. I'm just, don't take me serious. Yeah. So I
go have to ask my Belizean people that.
Yes, the leader of the opposition.
What was the point you were trying to make, Charles?
I don't know. It was a statement. I don't know of any country that has allowed that to happen.
So you interject that for what reason?
Just to put it there. Just to put it there.
No, you're very purposeful in your everything.
I'm just putting it there. I don't know of a country that has ever done that, and it would be interesting to find out how that happened in Jamaica.
So.
Oh, I see where you're going with that.
Because there wasn't a law against it. They forgot that in the Constitution.
They forgot it.
Yes. And
why? Charles wants to know why. Charles wants to know. I wonder why they would forget.
I mean, our Constitution was rushed, It was rushed. It only took like 2 years or 3 years. Or probably 1 year. I don't remember how much it is.
Me not done with Charles. Me not done with Charles.
61 to 62. It was after. Let me
Noel,
see.
Noel,
Me
you
not done
allow
with
me,
Charles. Me not done with Charles. Leo, me not done with Charles.
It was,
Are you implying that there could be some phenotypic advantages
I'm
that
sorry.
contributed to that?
I'm sorry,
No.
sir. I'm
come on,
not.
no. I
I'm
don't
not
think he's
of
saying
the-
that. I don't think he's
I'm
saying
not
that.
of that ilk where I know big words. Can you speak to me like
You just
Joe
use pontificate.
Brand?
You just say pontificate to us.
No, because guess what? It
Use
came up in
that.
my vocabulary suggestions while I was talking, and I thought, well, let me use that word because it looks like it's great. It was a
Sound
great
good.
point.
It sounds good, don't
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay,
so
let me
let's
not go
move
there.
on. Let's move on to the babies thing. It's unfortunate that this is happening. Hopefully they'll jump on that and rid our hospitals of these viral infections, because honestly it's one life is too many, and 14. I mean that's gross negligence, and it needs to be fixed. And listen, I have to say, in the United States, I have heard of many people who catch viruses in hospital, right? And some of them dead, right? So it is not. It's not a. Right. So it's not a phenomenon to the Rock. It is something that needs to be really looked at by hospital administration here.
I see
everywhere.
somebody sent a picture of Warmington, and it says PSOJ condemns Warmington racially divisive comments.
Yeah, that's the article that was done today.
Yeah, I read it.
Today.
Okay. Thank you so much for sending that. All right.
Man, I was going to ask a good question.
We started at 8:06. We are at the hour mark, and I just wanted you to know we could wrap up. You could take the last point.
We can't wrap up. Are you or sure?
That's
we can't
right.
tell you what to say.
And then I look like him ready
no.
to wrap up. You know, I look with permission to go on a little longer, but him try to be discreet.
Noel, if you know anything about Leo, him no know nothing about stop talk. Oh, sorry, right. No, I'm sorry. That edit that part there. Edit that part there. Sorry.
So Leo, you're asking for us to go on a few more minutes, right?
Yeah, man. Warmington is also the cousin of Portia Simpson Miller.
Is it? Okay. Wow. Hey.
Listen, Manley was the cousin of Buster. Listen, the people in the streets need to understand that, you know, people at that level, they will beat up one another in public, but, you know, they're my cousin, uncle, and niece and nephew.
You know what is interesting to me? For some reason, and I really think it's a travesty in Jamaica. The voting public, the people who actually go out and vote, is so small. And that same voting public it's like holding the political people as these gods. And they allow so much foolishness to happen. And on both sides, because there are some PNP people who, we wish them would have leave politics because what them use. And there are some NDM people who, when you hear them talk, you're saying, wow, seriously? And this other party, I can't remember this new party that come. There's just this way that Jamaicans hold up politicians and treat them like they are gods, and it is wrong. Politicians are regular people that should be held accountable for the rhetoric that comes out of their mouth.
Listen, me, Charles.
Joni, listen to this.
What?
Joni says, Manley, Shira, Bustamante, all are the same grandmother.
Interesting. Well, in America they would say keep it in the family.
I wanted to say something to what you just said about why the people.
I never support people. Me never say poor
No,
people.
you notice me almost say, but me put it back in my mouth.
All right, go ahead.
Exactly. The power of manipulation that has to be factored into the power of manipulation. Because I watched the last election. Me see a little man lying down in the street. I don't know if it was a joke thing, but he was bawling when the PNP lose. He bawling and rolling at the water. What would possess somebody to do that? The manipulation.
Some of them they just them they kind of ball in there, them get paid for ball. It's like you got a funeral, right? And you got a funeral, and you see some people are ball and throw themselves on the floor.
Oh, it's a career. It's a career.
Yeah, they get paid for that. You know, they don't cry.
It's a career. On a serious note, is the way the manipulation of gullible people, and it's so interesting that these are the people who are voting sometimes and determining the direction of the country.
Well, you know, Jamaica is a very unique place, and we just hope that more people will come vote, whether them smart or them not smart or them rich or them poor. I would like to see many more persons who come out to vote in our country's election, so that it make a difference. Because as Charles just said, there is a certain set of people who always vote, and they determine the nation's interest. And if I think we're at 31 or 32% or something like that, or but if we can move it up to 60%, it gives a better look. And I wrote something on Facebook the other day. Say, if you don't vote, no chat to me. No chat to me. If you don't vote, no chat to me. You better vote. If you vote, you can argue with me, cuss me out, and anything you want to do with politics.
I endorse that. I
know.
endorse that 100%. I totally endorse that. I said the same thing here. If don't come to me and don't criticize anything if you don't make a contribution to it. Don't.
Absolutely. So, yeah, man.
A lot of people would say, me nah vote because if me vote, them are gonna know which side me vote for, and then them going to target me. I think it's just people don't vote for more reminding about something. We're black. Remember this. We're black. There was a time. There was a time when we never had the ability to even talk about voting. We couldn't even smell a ballot. We couldn't even look on a ballot because of what you do. And for us to have the privilege, the right, not even the privilege, the right, because there's a difference between privilege and right, we never know that. Privilege they can't take away from you. The right to vote, they can't take it from you. And we take it for granted when we get an opportunity to make a difference in your own life and the life of other people, right? When you vote, it doesn't necessarily gonna come back to you, but you are making an impact on the rest of the country. And if you can't see the fact that you're making a difference in the rest of the country, then you have a problem. Remember the name of the guy that was said, if your life, you're not examining your own life, it's worth not living. Remember my name. Soon tell you. Now, remember my name.
But there's this guy that says something that alludes to that when Gandhi say you become the change you envision. Same kind of context, you want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Please, whenever you get a chance to vote, go vote. It don't take nothing. Nobody knows shoot you.
Let me ask you a question, because I see it in the United. I see it work in the United States. And I speak about the United States a lot because I have a lot of experience in the place because I lived there for so long. But
so you just leave us and go back to Jamaica. So I don't understand.
Oh, because I have sense. So anyway.
Leo, you hear that? You see it?
No.
Me and you know what I'm saying. All right.
Listen. I want to just make this statement before I move on to the thing that I was going to say. I go to my yard today, right? I woke up and I said, boy, me don't feel like cooking no eggs or no ackee and saltfish. I don't feel like cooking, but I'm hungry. So I went and I picked a soursop.
Show off.
What are they? Are you throwing words on my
Hold on, man.
Let the man show. Let him show off.
Hold
Let
on,
him
man.
talk. Continue showing off.
I went and picked a soursop. I checked my grapefruit tree. I checked my ackee tree. I checked my my passion fruit vine. I checked my cherry tree. I checked my sweet sap tree. I looked at the 4 mango trees, and I thought, oh, sorry, the breadfruit tree also, because I got a breadfruit. And I thought, what is the difference with living in Jamaica? And I thought, naturality. Because in America,
why did you let no leave off straight? You want to make a point on voting. What happened?
Listen.
Hold on. He asked me a question.
Something burn him. Make you burn him.
He asked me a question. Why would I move back to Jamaica? Naturality. Naturality, because I can be in Jamaica and be in Jamaica. In the United States, even when I went up this past summer, I had to work from morning to evening every single day in order to make the two things meet. But listen. Hold on. You said to me, say me must make you talk. So you do that to me too. Anyway, so like I'm saying, I moved back home to Jamaica because I realized that life for me would be here, where I can actually put in work to actually help my people grow. You understand? So
we not do that, Leo.
Not no. Listen. Hold on. Wait. You asked me why I moved home, and I'm telling you, naturality, and because I knew I could make a difference here with my people, and this is home for me. It has always been home for me. The United States was a stoppage, not a stoppage, but a stopover. You understand?
Give me the whole book. Listen, but let me tell you now. This morning when I wake up, you talk about I wanted some porridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because on a Golden Cross, me get porridge. Mr. Callaloo, Mr. Fried Dumpling, Mr. Ackee and Saltfish. Listen.
Listen, you're right. And however you put it in Noel, you're right, because you paid for yours with money. I paid for mine with time, because I had to use my resource of time to go and pick this and go pick that and prepare it. Whereas you just went and you paid for it. So it's just resources. Right. So anyway, what was I saying before Noel interrupted me? Maybe forget what I say.
Somebody
in the chat, tell me what I was saying.
We ought to be aware of who we are and what makes a nation. We can't think licky. I ran for office up here one time, right? And every time you meet somebody, they say, "What you gonna give me?" And I would say to them, everything that the city has, as long as the city has something, you'll have it. Me not take all the money out of my pocket, give you. No, that's wrong for you to say that. Because when you vote, it's not for you. When you vote, it's not to get money in your pocket. It's your responsibility to advance your country, to advance your people. And so if you can't see the big picture, me sorry for you.
I know what I was saying.
Yeah.
I know what I was saying. I saw it happen in the States, and I wonder why it doesn't happen here. And then I thought, oh, that's why. But anyway, let's see if we don't have the same thought as I. In the United States, there's been a huge, especially in the Black community, a huge drive of get out and vote. I don't care who you vote for, get out and vote. Vote.
Right.
I mean, it's coming from everywhere, all over the place.
Everywhere.
Local elections, national elections. I mean, there's a campaign, but not campaigns for the politicians, campaigns from PACs, from groups saying, please get out and vote. There's no such thing in Jamaica.
Are you
Nowhere.
serious? Are you serious?
There is no such thing in Jamaica. It's almost like, me not care if you vote. What are you voting? Do you have to do? And I think that has fed into the system where only 30% of the people vote.
Listen,
because
when I was
nobody sees. Well, the majority of the voting or the registered voters don't see the benefit of voting, because the benefit has been linked to exactly what Leo just said. What you gonna do for me?
Yeah. You know, the thing, I've lived in the States for 32 years. So, and of course, you probably think I'm a traitor, I'm living in the country. But anyway, I've lived in there for 30.
I would never think that. Not at all. Not about you, ever. Never. Not at all, Noel.
For 30.
Not coming from me. No, sir.
Stop. But anyway, I've lived here for 30. But when I remember as a youth back in the hills of Southwestern St. Anne, where you had Neville Gallimore was the MP, you know, those guys, Southwestern St. Anne, and you had the PNP. I don't remember who was what, but the bottom line is, people used to call it canvas. Leo, you remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Where you gone? They used to call it canvas, and those days people used to walk the street. There was a loudspeaker on top of the car, and all kind of stuff. And people used to actually be in touch with the whole.
No, actually, we used to go on the truck, the back of every van that passed, and go down, and people are ring bell and some people are
on top of the truck and the car. What about the high up on the what you call it? What about the high up on the power? All those
turn into show. That this turn into shower now.
Turn into what?
Shower and power.
Shower and power.
Mm.
What are those gangs?
V used to be victory.
The victory and the fist, the V and the fist, yeah. But so I mean,
we used to have it before your time,
during my time. But you see these, I worked very hard for all of these, right? Good. So anyway, what I'm saying is, I remember when the town criers used to go through, and I remember all the different posters and all those things, right? And people used to kind of get and say, okay, it'll come up. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the violence came in. Don't know why, but the violence came in, and people got afraid to vote, right? People got afraid to vote because people's affiliation was being made public, right? And based on your affiliation, you would be met with some violence, right? Mm-hmm. But what has happened since then, there has been no correction to that fear. Mm. And that fear has turned into, me not care. Mm-hmm. Me not care. What do you use?
All right, so we're gonna wrap up now, and I'm gonna ask you guys to take a minute and do a little piece of your thoughts about the show and the topic, and just wrap up in a minute for me. I'll allow Charles to go.
No. Noel goes first. Noel goes first because he's.
Oh no! Is he the ball boy?
No. He's the one that came in last. You see, last.
Okay. So we're punishing him. We're punishing
last
him.
in first out. Yeah.
Or the last shall be the first, and the first shall be the last. Who first? Come on. So you're gonna be last. On a more serious note, Leo said something earlier which it resonated when you said that the privileges, the essence of what you said was that the privileges that we have now, we never had them back in the day. We couldn't vote, we couldn't, whatever case might be. we couldn't be on television. We couldn't have a show. We couldn't have a forum to say stuff. And it is so refreshing that we can, you know, as a group of Black men, people have all this perception about us and all of that stuff, negative perceptions, but we can actually come together and spend some time. And we know that it is, you know, it is punctuated by jokes and all this kind of stuff, but we can have some serious conversation. And it's not about judgment. We talk about Warmington, we're not killing the man, but we're raising the questions and we're raising the issues and we're talking about it. So I'm just glad to be a part of this. I'm looking forward to our continued collaboration. Yeah.
And you know, Leo, I just want to add to what Noel said by saying ditto. He made some good point. You hear my chorus out there. It's that they're agreeing with me also. When I say that I love this forum, right? Because it's just three very good-looking men having real discussions about real things, right? All right, Leo. All right,
Leo, calm down now, Leo.
Two good-looking men. And
no, me good-looking too. It's not just a two, me too. Well, not just a two of you.
So what I'm saying is that it's great to be able to sit and reason and also include the audience that is there listening to us, because it is real reasoning and what we used to do as a village before. Because remember, back in the day, you know, there used to be one man that could read the newspaper and everybody go around him and then they start discuss everything we read. So that is what we're doing here. We're creating a community of conversation, because until we start to communicate with each other freely without having all of the different inhibitions, we are going to be locked in our closet. And it is time for us to, okay, that analogy. Anyway, it's time for us to come out of the closet and just be real with each other so that we can build the nation that we want. And the nation, for me, includes the diaspora, right? Because you hear of Region 6 coming out of Africa, which right now is a fallacy. But the region that we need to pay attention to is the one on the rock and the Jamaicans outside Jamaica, right? I'm not now talking about the people who are interested in Jamaica, because those are not Jamaicans. I'm talking about Jamaicans who are living on the rock and Jamaicans who are living overseas. We all need to get involved in a conversation that helps this country grow. And part of that conversation is the hardest part is accountability. We have to hold each other accountable and call out people when they are doing wrong. And please, may I beg people from the bottom of my heart, start informing people who are doing wrong. Please. This whole informer for dead culture foolishness that has murdered us over and over and over again, figuratively and literally. We need to start calling out and talking about the people who we know are doing wrong.
Right.
I'm done.
Thank you so much, guys. It's been such a pleasure having this discussion tonight. I think we got very spirited, and it's really nice to hear both of you and your perspectives. I learned a lot, and I want to thank the persons who are online who joined us tonight, both on Facebook and also on YouTube. Thank you so much. We'll be back again another Wednesday. It's 7 o'clock now because you know the time changed, and so once upon a time it was 8 o'clock Philly time and 7 o'clock Jamaica time.
Remember, Philly time home. Make sure you qualify that us in America, because most of our listenership in Jamaica. And Philly time, America time. The Philly time is.
Well, we're in America on the East Coast, and in that.
Remember, Charles is Jamaican. I him to say Philly time.
Once upon a time it was Charles time alone, but now I've smeared your time, right? Okay. Okay, gentlemen. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Love.
Take care. Bye-bye.